For the gin!
Alrighty. Time for some Hoot Mirage. When I saw this Mirage picked, I was actually a little bit skeptical. Well, no, I knew it was a good pick, because it was one of the first picks in the draft. But when they drafted the Mina, I was very confused because I was like, wait, they're going to play 2 carries because Zergy has been playing the Lash recently. So, I like that they gave it to Hoot, and he did quite well, so here he goes. Good way to dodge the parry. But this is a very aggressive lane. So both teams put 2 of their best laners in mid lane because they want to win it quickly. So what's going to happen is Mirage... Okay, so I was doing a bit of some weird lane swaps. This is very common for EU. And you never see this. Or you very rarely ever see it. But the plan is, essentially, they're going to leave the Mirage here after they win lane. And the Apollo's going to go roam. And then they're going to do a bunch of shuffling around once everything kind of settles down for a bit. But EU tends to play very active, so I can definitely see a lot of shuffling earlier. But the ultimate goal is just to win lane with these 2 people. 2 of the best laners in the game. Mirage will never die, especially with this first item of Mystic Regeneration. It'll always proc off Mark. And pretty much you can stay at max HP for most of the lane. And the reason why Mirage is just so commonly picked early or banned, it's just because of how much lane presence he has. Just because he's so tanky in lane, he's almost impossible to deal with. So you can plop him in a losing lane, and they'll lose it very, very slowly because he's not going to die. You can place him in an aggressive lane because he outtrades every single person in the lobby. So it's just, he's very oppressive in lane in general, and can single-handedly win most lanes. And for some people who are climbing in ranked, if you're willing to get good at Mirage, he is one of the best characters to climb, at least in solo queue, if you're solo queuing. Because you have a global presence on the map, it's quite good. I always love this, they're always so on top of the timers, so he's able to go deep into the tunnels first, so this way, instead of wasting time breaking all the boxes on the way there and then coming back, this is a bit of a time save by going all the way back and then clearing all the boxes on the way back to the lane. So there's just some shenanigans going around. The Apollo's now in yellow lane. Calico's probably farming tunnels, which is why the Apollo's over there. And then the Abrams comes around and tries to look for putting pressure onto this blue Guardian. This pressures this Geist a lot. And they made sure they took that trade knowing that Arzo used up a lot of stamina running away. So by going in, even though he just kind of has to get the read on the parry, which Arzo ultimately failed, which is why he dies. And he can't run away because he doesn't have the stamina to do so. So it was a good little run down onto the Geist. Heal Bane's great. It's constantly applied, so the heal minion gives a reduced amount, as well as it cuts down healing, like regen healing. Good little movement to avoid getting hyperlined. Because you can get hyperlined off the jump pad, so just some good little movement tech to avoid it entirely.
I see him furthest.
Unfortunately, its movement buff, generally known as the weakest one in the early game, but it's quite useful onto your big roamers like Calico, or maybe even like Apollo or something, or even just someone who uses a lot of stamina. Can help them play a little bit more aggressive in the early lane. So like a McGinnis with movement buff could play a little bit more aggressively because she has an extra stamina to play with, or an extra 2 stamina to play with. But it still doesn't compare to the standard like combat stats of the health buff or the gun buff or the spirit buff. Some good little pressure though on the Guardian. You can see that he's playing this super aggressively. He's procced his mark on both characters, on both the Geist and the Holiday, and he's just able to just constantly tank all these trades. Because he gets just 4 regen in lane. I want to say that's a slight mistake on the 6th part. But now they don't have to worry about the Geist swap for a while, and now they can just put a lot of pressure onto this Geist. It's a little hard in the early game to avoid getting Geist swapped, because you don't have the same amount of burst. And this is a great trade. And there you go. So even though Listic died, they got the extended trade back onto the Geist. And this Geist is almost homeless. She is so weak, comparatively. And Hoot is in a really good spot to just take over the game now. At 6.3k at 7 minutes, pretty much getting solo waves, putting a lot of pressure on anyone who comes into a vicinity of him. He's going to be a problem to deal with for the early game. But he's just slowly looking to whittle down this Guardian. Resto, quite a good Resto Rocket, quite a good item for just in taking these awesome trades. Like, because of all the spam that the Geist is gonna do with like Malice and whatnot, Holidays barrels, he's gonna be able to build up the Locket quite well. And just having that burst healing can help turn a bunch of fights. So I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes like healing booster or something for the extra health. Good dodge on the Geist bomb. He jumped off the wall to make sure he could get enough height to avoid it. I like this aggression from Listic. It's creating a lot of space for Hoot. Just grab the minions. But you can see that even though he was getting traded with a decent amount, he's just healing it back up pretty quickly. There's some of the power from the Locket. That burst healing saves his life so much. Oh, the kill onto Arzo. The heal main proc. No. He was dead to rights, and then that was a great kill onto Arzo. For whoever it was. It saved Hoot's life. But he got a lot of Resto Locket value.
Where do you need me to go?
And I like this. He TP's over to the right, to the left lane, just to help ensure that they have the urn prio, and they're probably getting ready to do some little bit of a lane swaps, because they might want the Mina to be more active. But in this case, I guess they want Cosmetical to be the secondary carry in this game, for the most part, and just have him have the side lane so he can tempo a decent amount. He still has Locket, so he's not too scared. And he still didn't proc it. He's trying just to bait people in more and more. And this is just the beauty of having Resto Locket. And normally it's not that great on carries, but on carries like Mirage who wants to play aggressively, it's fantastic. So I'm assuming he'll go his gun spike. Yeah, recharging us. A little bit of extra ammo, as well as just having an extra scarab is always very, very useful. If you put it on a bunch of people in a team fight, you're reducing their damage output by what, 20%, unless it's maxed or until it's maxed. And then because you're debuffing everybody, it forces people to buy things like Dispel Magic or whatever in order if they want to get their damage procs or their damage values back. It's just kind of an absurd stat. Because dealing 20% less damage in general is as if you have you just used Curse on yourself. Like the Curse debuff on yourself. Or having Egg and Trophy Collector on minions. Or like 2 eggs worth of stats. Like eggs and Curse. But similar to how we saw Cosmetical do it in the previous week on Mina, Hoot is playing in the mid lane, just constantly trying to stay active in any fight. He can use his TP to either lane, he can keep infinite prio, on blue by himself because he's super tanky. And he has nados to get out of any situation. Just like that. And this way he's also saving a lot of the key farm for his carries. Together just got hate crime. That was really well played though by the chains CCing all the enemy. They got a good nado off onto an Eternus song. Really well played. Good peeling from Listic. And knowing Buffenshore is just going mid. Such an early mid boss, but it's a great call. They have the blue prio, which makes it so they have, or it's more difficult for the enemy team to collapse. Sure, it's a little risky, but they're so far ahead as well, so they're not scared to do this. Hoot does go down though, which is unfortunate, but they play this so well with the last ult, and they just use the rejuves to win the next fight. And just like that, they ballooned their lead to about a 15k lead. Small thing for Obakin, he may have been able to stun the Eternus by jumping into the flame dash with the riposte. But I like this. Hoot TP's over to the urn in order to pick it up on spawn so that no one is able to collapse to it because they just played for mid. And because they just played for mid, no one's able to respond to it. They just TP over. Boom. Now he has it. And he's just going to run it. And it's going to be a great influx of souls for him. And this is a really good way to play with a triple carry comp. So you have one carry playing all the... You have either carry playing on the side lanes, and then you have the other carry just running around with the rest of the team. And using the tempo advantage for, like, either if it's ability based or whatnot, to just play for, like, urns and everything else. Debuff reducer is great. It's good for the Eternus, it's good for the lasso, so he doesn't do that. So he can't get lassoed for as long, same for the Moult. And then it's great for the Blood Scent, or for the, I can't remember the name of the Drifter 2, but it's Drifter 2. Reducing all the CC and the debuffs is going to be great for him. Especially since he relies so much on his healing. This is great discipline. Cosmetical was baiting the Drifter into a fight, but they recognized that more people were coming, and they just back off. They're like, this isn't actually a great fight. There's no reason to be fighting here. Let's just back off. And I actually like this AP point order too from Hoot. So he gets the Fire Scarabs to tier 2 as well as the Jidmars to tier 2 for just the increased damage and having the extra charges for Fire Scarabs duration. But he maxes his Dust Devil in order to just have a little bit more of an ability to play actively on the map. So just having the extra stun lock capabilities just helps him team fight that much better. As well as play a little bit more aggressively. This is a hate crime though. But if they're using everything on Hoot, that's good because they still have two other carries in Zergy and Cosmetical. And if they're able to play it well, they should just be able to win the fight.
Time for a change of environment.
Great tornadoes. And you can see that he's scarabing everyone differently. Like he's not trying to like chain his scarabs on one person. He's just trying to scarab everybody in the fight, just to give them, just to give them the damage penalty. So they're not doing as much damage, therefore making his team tankier. It just goes to show how oppressive Mirage actually is. And he has all these debuffs too for it. So he has Suppressor, Healbane, as well as even Mystic Vault. So he's shredding for them as well. So while he's increasing his team's damage output, he's also decreasing the opponent's. And this is why Mirage isn't played as a primary carry as much. And it's mainly just because he's more of a debuffer on his team. So he plays a similar role to like a Vindicta or like a Drifter in a sense as well. But he's just so mobile, just with his tornadoes, his teleport. And they get the drift roll, which is huge. So now they won't have drift roll for the mid boss. If they were to do it right away. But I like this, they're playing the timers, they set up for the bridge buffs, they're setting up for the urn. Because they can't play for the rift because of comeback mechanics. So they just decide to give it, and then play for the objectives that they can take. And they decide to leave Hoot here because he has TP and will use his TP to join into the fight if there is a fight between the two teams. But this way can also put pressure on the side lane. No one can really contest him. The Geist will do a decent amount in the 1v1, but there's no way that she'll actually be able to kill the Mirage. It'll be too difficult of a task, especially from the bullet evasion from the 2, as well as the damage reduction from the Scarabs. And this is why Mirage is also really good in a side lane. He can hold off a lot of pressure.
Let's go yellow.
And I like that he's confirming the souls. He notices the Geist is denying the souls from the Sinners. So he just decides to take it a little bit of extra time and just make sure he shoots the soul, confirming it. A common misconception about escalating exposure is that the Spirit amp is for every single person on your team. It isn't. It's only for your damage. But Mirage is still a great applier of the item due to the Fire Scarabs, which will allow him to build up the escalating exposure amp, and then once he triggers the mark, it's going to do a crap ton of damage. And you can see that he's maxed at second, which reduces the cooldown, so he's able to proc those marks a little bit quicker. And his stun is also very useful in these fights. So I won't be surprised if he picks up and saves up for a Ricochet next item. But I just love how aggressive that buff enjoyers are playing, knowing that they have the advantage with all these debuffs. Like, any small lead they have, it just gets ballooned so much. And they're abusing these high mobility characters, like the Mirage, like the Calico. Right now, there's no objective to play for besides mid-boss. Teams are going to be fishing for a pick of some sort. So right now, they just put the Mirage into the side lane, knowing he can absorb a lot of the pressure and contest the Geist in the 1v1s. Because I'll always have TP to join, so you can always get the wave advantage. So he makes sure to shove it out. And then you can already see that he's preparing to look for a TP. And I love how he doesn't directly TP into the fight. He teleports a bit away to make it so he can recalibrate for his team. As well as, because he doesn't have the entire information, he's able to just buy time for himself to understand the situation, as well as to just get into the situation cleanly. Because if he just teleports into the middle of the fight, he might just be a little bit lost and die instantly. Good dispel magic from the Eternus. Made sure to wait so he had the time to stack up the marks. And then right before, or the moment he got to 4 stacks, he just dispelled it so he didn't get the stun. As well as reducing a large burst. Who probably could have proc the mark to maybe get some extra damage on, maybe even gotten a kill. I like this. He gives it to the Apollo. Because he's knowing his job is just to be a debuffer. So now that he's done his role for the most part of the game, he's just a supporting character. And yeah, he's probably saving up for Ricochet. And he's playing back. His team's not going to be playing for the Rift. Even though it's comeback Rift, and they do have rages. He's just going to absorb the pressure from the enemy and try and keep this Walker alive. And if he ever has to give it up, he's just gonna leave. But he's holding off 2 people right now. He just wants to make sure that they don't join into these fights. And he's constantly just giving his team the advantage. So even though he does die, which does blow because he uses like a rejuve, his team's just able to push into the base. And he probably could have positioned himself a little bit better to not use the renew. But buffingers are so far ahead that it doesn't really matter at this point as much. And it really sucks that Hoot hasn't bought yet. But I like his positioning in this fight as well. He's playing further back in these fights. He did use his tornadoes to run away, but he's playing further back in these fights just in order so he's able to pump out the damage. Like, his damage isn't something that's not great. It's still very, very prominent damage. There's a bit of hesitation there, but he has the general idea of just leaving the fight. He knows he can't save Obakim in there, so he just leaves. And now he can actually get his buy. Yeah, there's the Ricochet. And he probably put the compressed cooldown on the Jin's mark. And this is a key thing, just getting those marks up as quickly as possible helps so much. And now that he has the Ricochet, he can play a little bit more of a role of a carry. So he's almost the third carry in these fights. Because there's no rejuve up, there's no mid boss up, there's no rip, there's no earn up. They're all just taking it easy, just farming up, making sure that the waves are okay. And you can see that he's only really now starting to farm the jungle a lot. And that really is just the fact that he has Ricochet now. Mirage without Ricochet just farms so slowly, or struggles a lot to farm jungle. So large portion of the money that he gets is going to come from the fights, kills, the rift, the earn, all these objectives being taken. Does he go toxic bullets? Yeah. So toxic bullets is just another way, or it's another debuff essentially, more anti-heal for the enemy, as well as the fact that it does proc escalating exposure. So he doesn't necessarily need his fire scarabs on every target to start proccing those damage amp stacks. And once again, he's just sitting in a side lane because his team is going to be running around together. And he can just TP into any of these fights. So his job is literally just to make sure that the waves are good. Good kill on together. Now they can look to go mid safely. It's one of their big key mid-boss contests. Yeah. And there's the call to go mid.
The Jinn take me where I am needed.
And I like this TP. He doesn't want to lose blue, and he wants to get the blue prio back, so just TPing there helps a lot. He also doesn't do a lot of mid-boss damage besides punching it, so playing externally or on the external side of the mid-boss works quite well for his team. And he can also look to stall anyone who's trying to enter like from above or whatever. So he's also just scouting for his team. And I love this too. The reason why Cosmetic was over there is he literally just cut the waves. He just played to cut the waves. So this way it resets the wave really quickly. And now they can just ignore it because they're just going to look to go grab the shrines. And this way they don't have to worry about this lane as much. It's a completely dead lane. So now they can put their focus on these other two lanes. And I love this as well. For a similar reason why you would put Mirage in a different lane, they're putting the Calico. Because she can roam very quickly into the fights. And now that they have two waves pushing up, this makes this base take very easy. Huge lash ult. Yeah, I was about to say, I was a little surprised that he didn't just put the mark on, or fire scarab on the Eternus, just to reduce some of the damage output. But he did that. This is a great fight, a great game. He did a very good job at essentially using his debuffs, playing around the objective, making sure that he had a TP available. He was using things, or just using his TP to rotate around the map, making sure he was at like Urn, Rift. Not that they really had to do Rift as much. They were giving up a lot of the Rifts because they were ahead, and they didn't want to take any needless risks with it. But he used his TP for the greater good of his team, as well as just the debuffs that he applied for his team.